Hey, everybody. This is Clint with, let me get this right. This is Coach Clint with Clint Speaks, and we're back in the building. Y'all, I am excited as usual, ready to do this thing called enlightening. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go live. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch TV. So let's go. I just got to make sure that there we go. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. We're good. We're good. We're good. Um, if you don't mind when you come in, if you don't mind speaking to me, make that public. And I'm gonna do a couple of other things here. Hey, let me know how y'all doing, man. Let me know if you're on, if you're watching. I got to do this, man. I am so sorry, y'all. But I've got to make sure that everything is in check. Listen, y'all, I'm kind of all over the place right now. Of course, I'm excited about tonight. Excited about seeing tonight. There's as I stated, not trying to be negative or sad. A lot of people didn't see this night. I always want to be thankful and grateful for at least seeing this night, y'all. So, if y'all don't mind, if you're in the chat, if you can see me, let me know how you're doing tonight. Let me know how's your week been. I got to get some things together, man. I'm supposed to do this one thing for my cousin, and I am working as we're talking. This is going to be a great subject on tonight. Trust me, just like any other night. Um, Let me see if I'm missing the chat. Y'all let me know because I want to talk to y'all tonight, man. And I want y'all to talk to me. Hey, Shamika. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She said reading a book while sipping on some wine. Man, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Laid back doing grown folk stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Was I'm gonna ask that you stick with me. Hey, Holly, how you doing? Thank y'all for listening, man. Y'all all right with me. I mean, I just asked y'all, hey, just come in and speak, and y'all doing it. I promise y'all. If you were with me last year, Holly, whomever, y'all know I said because it was on me too. Say so. Sometimes it's the small things that God want us to. I hate to say it like this, be obedient to, not to me, but just the small things, y'all. And man, he looks at even that, even with being a wise steward over your money down to the penny. As long as you can do that, man, I promise you, you're actually inviting him to bless you. Awesome. Shabika said, tell your wife we said hello. And we love y'all for being transparent. I will do. What's going on, Pitmaster Twan? Y'all, please get y'all some of that barbecue. I'm telling y'all. Please do so. Um, I'm glad y'all just stick with me for a moment. I know. What's up, Chad? I saw Chad on Instagram over there watching me. I appreciate that y'all stick with me. Um, I am trying to. I have to add this. Let's see, ticker. I was not able to get the pick that I wanted um for my cousin. I hate that. But y'all listen. Throughout tonight, I am going to be honoring and talking on the sponsor for tonight's live, which is my cousin. I appreciate him. And there we go. When I say, in my opinion, the best wings in Memphis, listen, it's not because there's family. To me, I would be doing a disservice if I lied on anybody or lied to anybody. That would be a disservice. But ask anybody, my wife, ask anybody that has tried this man's wings. Ask him. The best in Memphis, y'all. Just try it. If you haven't, Young Valley, he even has his sauce for sale, y'all. Listen, these are the best tasting wings I've had. And that's why I'm stuttering all over the place. Seriously, you got to try them. If you're in Memphis or in the surrounding areas, you have got to try Young Valley's wings, y'all. And this is not because he's sponsoring tonight's live. This has nothing to do with money. I'm being serious, y'all. You got to try them. You got to try them. Seriously. Hey, De'Ara. De'Ara said, oh, yeah, them wings good. De'Ara, if you don't mind, tag Darrell Chambers for me. I believe y'all friends on Facebook. Tag him for me. But hey, y'all, we got an interesting live for tonight. Now, I'm going to give you the heads up. I do not want y'all laughing when I show this video. I want us to be, and don't take this the wrong way. Just don't laugh because it means a lot to me when you see this video. But if you saw the title, I have absolutely no excuses, y'all. Not at this point. Not at this point. For things that I want, from what I'm when it comes to what I'm going after, I have no excuse. And tonight, y'all gonna be my friend tonight. I know y'all said we already your friend, but I want y'all to show it tonight. So I'm gonna give you my definition of a friend. It's not what I'm talking about tonight, but I got to start here. A friend is somebody that's going to stick closer to you than your own brother or sister. A friend is loyal to you. You got to be loyal to them. You got to be friendly to them. A friend is one who is going to tell you the truth, regardless of whether it hurts your feelings or not, but they're not doing it to hurt your feelings. They're going to do it in love. A friend is not somebody who want to tell you the truth all the time. Just every time you look around, they got to tell you about yourself, if y'all get what I'm saying. But just hear what I'm saying about it. They're going to tell you the truth all the time, the times that you need to hear it. Not being funny at all, but if you ask your friend, hey, do my breath smell funny? Does it stink? And if they lie, no, girl, no, bro, you good. And it really does. I know it sounds comical, but let's be real. That's not a friend. Because if you're heading to a ditch and they don't tell you, and they see the ditch before you do, and they don't tell you, that is not a friend. Now, I know friendships has to grow, but at some point, especially if you've been friends 6 months, a year, at this point, if you ask them about you or your situation or a situation, they should be honest with you. So that being said, I'm expecting y'all to be my friend tonight. Now, my goal is to get back on stages, do motivational speaking, to book paid speaking gigs. That's my goal. My goal is to grow this podcast. True enough. But I just want to stick to speaking tonight. So I want y'all to stick with me now. Let me make sure I speak to everybody. Invest FX Earn Trading. Hey, how y'all doing? That's on Instagram. So y'all stick with me. Stick with me. I know it's going to be hard kind of looking at Young Valley's wing going across the screen. Trust me. Yeah. But anyway, y'all my friend tonight. So I want y'all to be straight up honest with me. I told y'all I want to be, and I am a motivational speaker. So I'm going to show y'all this video. Stick with me. Can y'all see that? Let me know if y'all can see that in the chat. I'm going to take my time tonight. Oh, Robert Johnson and Tamika. I got to ask her, did she pronounce her name Tamika or Tamika? But they're going to be joining us tonight. Let me see. Let me see. I believe. Okay. Okay. Can y'all see that on the screen? Thank you, Holly. So I'm going to play this little clip. Y'all probably have seen this guy before. It's just a short clip, and I'm going to let you know why I'm playing this. So thank you, Shamika. Hey, she knows him. So look at this guy.
There's no arms, no legs. You think my problem is no arms, no legs. It's not. The fact is, I'm only going to die. I'm only going to live for 90 years. That's my problem. Isn't that your problem? And I don't know where I'm going after I'm not here. Isn't that a big problem? What's the point of having arms and legs when you don't know what to do with them? What's the point of having arms and legs and having all the money when you can't take it with you and you don't know where your soul is? You think my problem is no arms, no legs. It's not. The fact is, I'm only going to die. I'm only going to live for 90 years. That's my problem. Isn't that your problem? And I don't know where I'm going after I'm not here. Isn't that a big problem? What's the point of having arms and legs when you don't know what to do with them? What's the point of having arms and legs and having all the money when you can't take it with you and you don't know where your soul is?
Could y'all hear that? I'm going to wait for y'all to answer. I just need one or two people to answer. Could y'all hear what he was saying? And could you see it? Let me look at both chats. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So listen, at this point, I've got 2 arms, 2 legs. I'll be 49 in August, 10 toes, 10 fingers. I am not in the hospital. I have full functionality of all of my limbs. No known disease, discomfort. Sometimes back, spasms at times. I'm not claiming that, but that's what I've had. Thank you, dear. I've had that at times. But I want y'all to type in the comment section, because that's a motivational speaker. And Shamika, I'm glad she did it. She confirmed that. Do I have any excuse at this time? If y'all my friend, tell me the truth. Yes or no? Just put it in the comment section. Yes or no? Even if you want to comment, I'm gonna read them. I got to hear from y'all tonight. Do I have any excuse? Stick with me. I told y'all, for those that's just joining, this is y'all's chance now. Show me that y'all my friend. Right now, it's not about how I feel. The question was, De'Ara, when you saw that, thank you, Holly, when you saw that video, looking at him, he's a motivational speaker. He has no arms, no legs. Do I have any excuse at this point? He went after what he wanted to go after, and he's going after what he wants to go after. Do I have any excuses at this point? I want y'all to be my friend and talk to me. Let me know. That's no problem, dear. That's no problem. I understand, because y'all, she has Prince while I'm doing this, so sometimes she's in and out. Prince, 4 years old, full of energy. Literally, once he wakes up, and it takes him maybe 30 seconds. I mean, I'm being serious, 30 seconds to a minute to literally wake on up. From that point on, he on 10. It's just till he goes to sleep. So it doesn't take him long. He still crawls up on me, and I love it. If he wants to go to sleep, sometimes he's back there with De'Ara, and he just falls asleep. But he's on 10 the whole time. De'Ara says, heck no. Shamika says none. Y'all, listen, y'all. I'm getting chills. I appreciate y'all for being my friend because this is important to me. Now, I know I'm not the only one because I want to be y'all's friend too. I want to be, even if it lasts just for this live tonight. If y'all would, when you get a chance, put somebody in the comment section that's in your field, that's successful in your field. If you don't mind. I know y'all feel like, man, I came to watch you, but it's okay. It's okay. The word of God says, write the vision and make it plain, that he that read it may run with it. Sometimes you have to do a little work. I'm not going to ask y'all to do much. That's all I'm going to ask for tonight. Just, I appreciate that. Holly says no. De'Ara says, heck no. Heck no. Shamika says no. I'm without excuse, y'all. If that man can get on stage, fly around the country and be motivational and inspire people and encourage people, I can do it. I'm without excuse. Y'all, it gets to the point, and I'm talking about me. It gets to the point where I have to realize that man has the same internet that I have, Holly. Shamika, he's got the same internet. De'Ara, he has the same internet that I have. Maybe not the same carrier, but it's the same internet. So evidently, there came a time where he had to research and do some studying, maybe take some training courses, maybe go to training physically in the field that he wanted to be successful in. What excuse do I have? I got the same internet. Now, if I choose to do something totally different and watch sports on the internet or watch people fighting from downloads on IG and other platforms, I got the option to do that. That's my time. I can do what I want with my time. But if I want to be successful, if I really want to be successful, I got to be honest with myself. I'm without excuse. Y'all confirm that, and I appreciate and love y'all for that. I don't need nobody lying to me. I don't need you being dishonest with me. If I'm going to grow and I'm going to prosper, and if you want to see me grow and prosper, you will be honest with me and tell me the truth. Now, if Clint smells good, and I ask you, do I smell good? I don't need people around me that's going to hate and say, no, you don't, because you don't want to. And I know that's not y'all. I'm just saying. But if I smell good, and I ask y'all, do I smell good? Do I smell? No, you smell good. Thank you for being honest with me. Because when I go around other people, I would hate for strangers to be more honest than the people that's around me. And vice versa. I owe that to you. Now, I'm saying be my friend right now. Let me see who else I got on here. Let me see. I believe we got Robert Johnson. Rob.
What's up, big guy?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Doc. I'm doing great. As a matter of fact, y'all, we don't do this all the time, but I called Rob. Actually, was he busy tonight? And I told him what I wanted to talk about. I didn't even go in great detail. He just came right on in and was like, "Hey, that guy without arms and legs, man." And I'm like, "You're right, man. You're right." So let me get him off the screen just for a moment, because for me and Rob, we just need to talk with y'all, and I want y'all to talk with us. So Rob, I asked the people, listen, I am a motivational speaker. I've had paid speaking gigs before, and I need to get back out there. People need to hear me, man. I've gotten to that point where they need to hear me, Rob.
Yes, sir.
So I asked the people that's on here. You got my wife, De'Ara, Shamika, Holly, and I'm pretty sure there's some more people looking. I want you to be my friend tonight. And I asked them, type it in the comments. When you saw that guy, and I showed the clip of him on stage, Rob, when you saw that guy looking at him doing what I want to do I have any excuse right now?
No excuse whatsoever.
There we go. Rob, a true friend, man. A true friend is going to tell you the truth, man. Friends, friends got to risk the friendship. Y'all heard me say this before, and I'm gonna ask for 60 more seconds. Then I'm gonna give it to Rob. But a friend will risk the friendship, and what I mean by that is sometimes, as humans, we don't want to hear what's right. We don't want to hear the truth about ourselves. But if I ask you, do my breath stink? And you say no, and it really stinks, you're not my friend, man. You're not being my friend. I'm gonna say you're not being my friend. But a friend, if they see you about to go in a ditch, see you going in the wrong direction, or they see you can do better and they never say nothing and just watch you just slowly down, that's not a friend. Tell me the truth about me, especially if I ask you, and I owe that to you. Rob, that's the field I want to really advance in and with this podcast, man. That dude had no arms, man. He has no legs. And one of the best speakers, she confirmed, she said, oh, that's an awesome motivational speaker, man.
Most definitely.
No excuse. Rob, what's this guy's name? Stephen Hawking. Is that his name, Stephen Hawking?
I think it is.
The one that passed, the one that was in the wheelchair. That dude was, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen Hawking, that's him. I'm looking at it on my phone. Handicapped. Look, this is what it says, Robert. Stephen Hawking is a handicapped person, well, he's passed now, who became successful in life.
Yes, sir.
Not being funny. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up on the screen. But Rob, I ain't got no excuse, man. I ain't got no excuse, Rob. I doubt if I'm the only one, but I ain't got no excuse, man.
You know what it is? And here's the thing. First of all, it's not a level playing field. Let me just tell you this. And I'm talking to somebody who's watching this or will be watching this. If you're on the couch and you're not doing nothing, I'm not trying to hear about white supremacy. I'm not trying to hear about unlevel playing fields. I'm not saying that they're not there. I'm just saying you can't even start that conversation until you've started I'm a builder, right? And I'm saying the next, the alternative, the Caucasian to me who has my same experience, he'd probably be 5 times ahead of where I am. Not because he's better, not because his team is better, but because he has access to money, right? And so I understand that's something that's not level. But I can't say that people are just holding me out of the industry. I can't say that once I get my licenses like I have, that people don't hire me. Matter of fact, I'm called more than he is. It's just that because he can demand a higher price, and the people who he served can pay the higher price, then it's like, okay. So then I said, okay, Lord, why can't I demand the higher price? So now I'm demanding a higher price. Now I get at the higher price level, I get more no's than yeses, right? But when I actually get a yes, I mean, it's like a Babe Ruth. I swing at it and it's out the park. And so I'm saying to the people who are listening to us today, what Babe Ruth situation have you left on the couch?
Wow.
One of the authors who I was listening to, he said, the largest unmet potential is the graveyard.
Wow.
And the reason that he's saying it is because many people go to their death not really having reached their capacity and why God created them. And it's like, wow. So the graveyard is the biggest unmet capacity. And it's like, if the graveyard is the biggest, unmet capacity, then I'm alive. I have the opportunity to meet my capacity because I'm still having, God says, let everything that have breath praise you. You know what I'm saying? And so I still have the opportunity to praise the Lord. And because of that, there is nothing that you can ask me that I think I can or cannot do that I'm going to tell you I can or cannot do. I'm going to say I can do it 95% of the time. Most people know if they coming to me and asking me, 95% of the time, there's that 5% of the things that I'm like, well, that might be out of my scope. And what I'll do is say, well, if you can't find anything else, and then I'll give them a rating on how I think I can finish whatever the project is for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they're like, well, are you willing to learn? This is what I have to say about willing to learn. Right now, I have the ability to build 3 to 7 stories, but we've got this building in Detroit. I think it has 60 floors. If somebody say, "Hey, Rob, you want to lead this out, building out this 60 floors?" Guess what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say yes. So, by the way, if you're out there, and this is how you got to create your authority. By the way, if you're out there and you need a 60-story building and a GC who is a brother, make sure you get at me.
Exactly, and put your information in there, man. Your
Yes,
number,
sir. That's how you have to do it. And so,
yeah,
this is what I like about you, man. You're conquering. Like I saw you conquer your fears. Then I saw you conquer the business piece. Then I saw you conquer the consistency. Then I saw you conquer making sure that you surrounded by people who are going to build you up. Then it's like, okay, now, Clint, if you don't move forward, bro, you feeling me?
Yeah,
that's all on you.
Yeah,
you got the tools that you need.
Come on.
That you need to move forward. Now, here's the thing. And this is what I want to tell the audience. The things that I just named that Clint has, you don't need those things to get off the couch. You don't need those things to get off PS5. You don't need the things to stop saying the man is keeping me down. And what is an unlevel playing field?
Oh, my God, please.
And here's what I want to tell you about the unlevel playing field. And at first, I thought that the unlevel playing field was unlevel and that it gave me a disadvantage. Initially, it did.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the initial problems that I saw initially, that when I get to my counterparts and where they are, I'm way past them. Because the issues that I've seen, they haven't seen them yet. And so when they finally see them, the cogs that they have in their wheels, the inabilities that they have to solve those problems, they can't even get with me. And so it's like, God, so you telling me all this time the disadvantage that I had, it hits me hard when I talk about it, because the disadvantage that I thought that I had was actually in the end an advantage.
Wow.
So
the disadvantage you thought you had was an advantage.
Yes. And you can go ahead and talk about all that unlevel playing field and all that nonsense if you want to, because that's exactly what it is. You've got to understand that the disadvantages that you are is what makes you unique. It's what prepares you to handle certain situations. And people already are able to see through the fluff. And if you've handled some serious situations, specifically in building, that's what people want to hear. That's what people want to see. It's like, oh, he's not quitting on me just because something didn't work, or just because I said, no, the frame should have been to the left, or the foundation is 2 inches off. No, we dig down, we re-pour, and it's a done deal. Yes, it might cost 12 grand or 20 grand. So what? Let's get it done. And so these are the things that I'm excited about. And what does that fit in us making sure that we stay motivated to move forward? I've never seen my grandmother make an upside down pineapple cake and expect a German chocolate cake to come out of the oven.
Come on, man.
And this is what I have to say about why God designed us and what he expects from us. Clint, if you're a German chocolate cake, God is not, he's not expecting red velvet.
Come on, man.
He's not. And so the thing becomes is, now can Clint be the best German chocolate cake that God designed him to be? And the answer to that is on Clint, just like the answer to that is on our viewers. And I'm excited about the opportunity, because we've got to understand that if God designed you, think about this. See, we talk about all this purpose-driven lifestyle. We talk about all of this, goal orientation. We talk about, listen, there's a frequency inside of you that if you tune into it, the Lord has pre-approve your authority in a situation, your anointing in a situation, your ability to manifest in a situation, your ability to generate in a situation, your ability to be a catalyst in a situation. All you got to do is just tune into that frequency. Now, I tune into it by daily speaking with God,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and as I, hey God, this blah blah blah. He said, oh, turn right. I turn right. Listen, I had a situation where that was yesterday. I had a situation where I had to go to the store 5 times. Now the guy then says, you done been here a couple times, have you, bro? It was a brother. I said, yeah. So he ended up giving me 40% off. Then he said he gave me 60%. Then I hit my threshold for my pro numbers and I got 50% off. And he was like, man, God must be blessing you. I was like, I didn't feel like it was a blessing because I had to come back. So as soon as I said it, he said, the guy behind me said, oh, it's a blessing. Are you a builder? I said, yes. He said, I knew because I saw what you were buying. And the guy who I'm buying was buying the same thing. And he just had a heart attack.
Wow.
And so I said, what do you mean? Why is that a blessing? He said, because I need somebody to finish this work.
Wow. Yes, he is, CJ. Wow.
And so for me, it's like, you know, I'm not capitalizing off anybody having a heart attack. That's not the point of this story. But the point of the story is that the guy who was a part of he got 5 trucks. All of the trucks are new. I got 4 trucks, but my trucks are not new. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I commanded the same respect just based on not the guy interviewing me, not an unlevel playing field, not him seeing the color of my skin, but he looked down at the things that I was buying on the cart.
Mm.
So he was like, are you doing blah, 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 blah? Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm over here at this restaurant. Oh, he's like, well, I might have 7 more for you. So
Come on,
I'm
man.
thinking in my mind, I can handle maybe 3 at a time. I don't know if I can handle 7. So my mind went from being pissed to have to go to the store 5 or 6 times to, can I handle 7 stores, and what logistics do I need, and how do I begin to do payroll?
Wow.
And so that's as fast as you go as you get off the couch. And so that's what I'm saying. Your disadvantage becomes your advantage. Your problem becomes your solution. And I mean, you just got to feel these things, and you got to understand, if you work through it, that's half the battle. I know they say G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle, but what you think, man? How have you experienced the ability to move forward, moving through the walls that you thought? What walls did you think were walls that you actually moved through that catapult you into a whole nother genre of something, and you just like, okay, I'm here, I can do this.
Man, I remember I was first I'm gonna put this pic up here, man. Can y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it up there for a moment. Let me say, I'm gonna answer your question, Rob. Shamika said we are all handicapped in some way, physically, mentally, or emotionally, but the purpose is greater than the handicap. I just had to say that, man. But so I was at a school. It was a charter school here in Memphis, and I was doing Aflac insurance. So basically, all I did was go in the teacher's lounge, sit, and they come to me. Or if they wanted me to come to the class, but let's keep it simple. They would come to me, Rob. And one teacher asked to speak with me. He was a guy. He said, man, would you mind speaking to my class? And I'm like, Rob, man, I'm an Aflac agent, man. I'm an insurance dude. But I said, okay. Immediately I'm like, okay. I never said nothing about speaking at churches. I never said nothing about speaking on the job. I didn't even speak there. I was just there to do insurance, because you got to be careful. They're careful about this. So anyway, the guy called me 2 or 3 days later, and he said, man, it's been a change of plans, man. So I'm thinking he's just to say, man, don't worry about it. He said, no. Would you mind speaking to the entire school? Like, The school? Now, by now, Rob, I'm just going to be honest with you, and I'm going to be transparent with everybody on the screen and everybody that's not on the screen. Not tuned in. Let me get my words right, Rob. Let me be transparent with everybody that's tuned in. Fear gripped me. And I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why is because, man, I'm a grown man. And I'm thinking, man, these high school students, they're going to be in there checking. They're going to be in there wilding out. They're not going to be listening. But I said yes. Right then and there, I faced my fear. And I said, man, I'm not turning my, once I give my word, you ask my wife, man, I'm in, man. Rob, got there that day. When I tell you, man, we danced. Didn't last but maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but I danced with them. All right, y'all settle down. And I went in. I had asked God, man, what do I talk about? I don't know what to tell these young people. Gifts, talents, passions. I went in, Rob. When I tell you, this is the digital age. This is where everybody texts. This is where everybody emails. None of that. They hand wrote me over 200 students hand wrote me letters thanking me for coming, saying they've never heard a motivational speaker like that. So, Rob, that's when I knew this man never heard me speak. I'm in there selling insurance. That's how we met. And he asked me to come speak to his class. And then went from that to, can you speak to the entire school? So I'm talking junior high up to high school, from the 7th through the 12th grade. And when I tell you standing ovation, it was thunderous, man. And that's when I knew this I done arrived, man. I'm saying at my purpose. Now it's time for me to take that baby on. So when I ask tonight, Rob, De'Ara, Shamika, Holly, CJ, nephew, whoever, when you look at this pic or the pic of the guy that didn't have any arms or legs, who was a motivational speaker, and he is making an awesome living. I ain't talking about just money, but this dude is touching millions of lives. Do I have any excuse? Now, if you're my friend, you would let me know whether I have any excuse or not. When you look at Stephen Hawking, now I don't agree with everything on the spiritual side, but this dude had a passion for being a scientist, basically, in the scientific field. He went after what he wanted, and this is how he has to sit in the chair. So somebody may say, Rob, well, I'm not trying to be a scientist. I'm just saying gift for gift, talent for talent, passion for passion. Whatever your passion is, you have to go after that. What is your excuse if you're not sitting up like this? This is what I'm saying. So, Rob, to answer your question, man, when I spoke to those high school students, that's when I knew, man, like, I got to do this, man, because this is my passion. You can put me, De'Ara knows, Rob, you can put me on any stage right now, and I ask you, man, what do you want me to talk about? You may say, I don't know, just anything. I got it. And people told me, Clint, when I hear you say that, it's one thing, but when I see you do it, it's a whole nother thing, because you don't even need a
reality to actually doing it.
Yeah. And they're like, man, that's a gift, man, because everybody can't do that. First of all, man, you got millions of people who got stage fright. That's a gift. Rob, man, once you take me from one ruler, once I get off that ruler, man, you done lost me, Doc. Man, talking about being a builder, man, listen. I know I'm going to be funny when I say this, man. I still don't know what X minus Y equal, and I don't care to. I'm just saying, man, when you get into the schematics of mathematics when it comes to building, because y'all got to have. Let me ask you, Rob, real quick in front of everybody. I got to ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you this, man. This is the right time. De'Ara, sometimes she'll ask me, Rob, why didn't you have this conversation? It's like, man, I had to wait for the right time. And she just nodded her head like, okay. So, Rob, before I get to you, y'all, if y'all see what's going across the screen right now, Young Valley's Wings, please, if you are in Memphis, Rob, when you come to Memphis, I got you on these wings. These are the best wings in Memphis, man. I don't care what nobody says, hands down. Ask my wife, she's had them. Ask anybody on my timeline that has had them. His name is Darrell Chambers. Some of y'all know him. He used to rap with 3 6 Mafia. This dude's wings is the bomb, man. I'm saying. please call him up. You ain't even got to have a Super Bowl party and none of you. He does that too, but just on the web, call him up. Trust me, you won't be dissatisfied. Just let him know that Clint sent you. Well, Rob, I've been wanting to ask you this, man.
Hold tight.
Yes, sir.
Young Belly, if you're out there, the owners, I got a spot up here. I'm willing to build a place for you. So let me know. I'm trying to get a 14 unit. It has a salon between it, and we can build it right between the two.
Listen, if y'all don't mind, Rob, I'm gonna need you to repeat that in just a second. Tyra White, that's my daughter-in-law, y'all. I really hate to do the in-law part because that's my son's wife, so that's my daughter. Y'all stick with me. Look, this is, we just go off the whale more here. We don't do rehearsed stuff. See, he's gonna. This is real. His rap name was Young D. When he answered, cool. Y'all just stick with me. If he answers. Well, he gonna hit me back because he see that I call. But anyway, I don't know if he's watching or not, but anyway, Rob, I've been wanting to ask you this, man. Can you take me through, even if it takes you 10, 15 minutes, however long, take me through what it takes, man, as far as from the foundation up when it comes to building, man? What all does that take, man? Like,
so most people don't really understand that building really happens in planning and zoning first before you even get to the building department.
Okay.
You've got to check the zoning for the property that you're about to build on. As you check that property, you've got to check now, does the zoning match what you want to build on that particular property? They have to kind of fit hand in glove.
Okay.
If it matches, then you can move forward. If it doesn't, you need to find that land type of the thing that you're trying to build. And so side note, what I find out that commercial is way better than residential. So I've been building houses for the last 15 years. For the last 4.5, 5 years, I've been doing commercial. I get 4 times the amount. Just off rip. So
Gotcha.
a door that's $700 to put up in a house is $4,700 to put in a commercial environment. Because it's more traffic, if you get
okay.
So that's the whole reason, because it's more traffic, sumptuously. And so, but from there, it's getting a blueprint, whether it's a house or commercial product, and then making sure that you have an engineer and or an architect who are going to be in line and step with you and to back you up in case you do what's on-site change. So sometimes I become the architect and the engineer because I have the ability to change even before I begin to build. Then as I build, I do what's called a...
Hey, Rob, I'm going to cut you off just for a second. Just for a second. Hey, cuz.
What do, cuz?
What's up, cuz? Listen, I got you live, man. I'm on my live. So if you can, tune in on my page. Go to my page and tune in real quick, man.
Okay.
Let me know when you do, because somebody got an important message for you, for real, doc.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Hey, Angie. Hey, daughter. All right, so what was you saying, Rob, about the zoning?
And so from the zoning and planning, then you go to building and get the permits after you've now set with the architect and the engineer to make sure that what you're going to build is represented on blueprints. You turn that in, then that goes through departments from zoning, planning, fire department, fire marshal, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, building. Sometimes you have codes enforcement, because in commercial, you have to have what's called a capacity. Either your code enforcement officer does that or your fire marshal. Usually it's the fire marshal, but in some cities, it could be the code enforcement, because the fire marshal is not official in those cities. They're very small. But anyway, once they give you the okay, then you're ready to build. Before that, you probably should have had a site survey to make sure that the land matches the site that you're trying to build on, because some people have built on the wrong site. And so that survey, and then a lot of times you need to get insurance with the survey, because let's say, for instance, you're new as a surveyor, Clint, and you come in and say, yeah, it's 3 feet here, it's 3 feet here, it's 5 feet there. Well, if it's 2 feet and you build over the 2 feet, then you're on somebody else's property and you just build a $500,000 building or $20 million building on somebody else's property. Now they're partial, the owner, and they can sue you. But so it's a survey. After you do that, you have a site plan. The site plan on the site rendering outside of the architectural plan, they match up. So the site is here. The actual architectural plan must fit inside of that. And then you start to build.
Okay.
Now, 40% of the actual build is doing those things that I just named.
Okay, gotcha. So
the other 60% is actually building. So there's a prepping for foundation. In housing here in Michigan, you've got to go 43 to 48 inches under the ground to build any foundation because we freeze. And if the water gets under the foundation and freeze, it lifts it up.
Okay.
And so like down where you guys are, you guys can just skimp off the top of the land and just straight build. That's why I'm jealous about Memphis. I'm like, I'm gonna come to Memphis and build, which I have some prospects there.
Hey, Rob. Okay, remember where you just left off. My cousin is on now. He's watching, and so hey, cuz I told Rob. This is Robert Johnson. He's in Detroit, and I'm gonna let him explain who he is. But basically, I'm putting your business on. You're my sponsor for the night. So I told him and telling everybody, listen, when he comes down here, I got him on your wings. But everybody that's tuned in, whether I can see you or not, these are the best wings in Memphis, hands down. My wife, Tyra, everybody that's had them, they've confirmed it already. So Rob took it from there. He said, tell your cousin what now, Rob?
So I said, tell your cousin, I'm looking at purchasing a 14 unit and a salon. The 14 units on one end and the salons on the other end, but there are 4 partials in the middle of that. I would love to partner with you on a Young Valley's here in Detroit so we can start that franchise up. I'm serious about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm serious about that because first of all, in the area, there is no fresh food. But the other thing is, wings sell in Detroit, and I don't know what else you sell, but it sells in Detroit. And so the other thing is you're associated with Clinton, so I know you're a good guy. So that's a done deal for me.
Most definitely. Rob, if you can see in the comments, that's my cousin Angela McCray Franklin. You see what my wife said. Tyra, again, that's my daughter. She's married to my son. I hate to say daughter-in-law, but we said my daughter-in-law for the night. Anybody that's had them, they can attest to it. So Rob is a builder. So Rob, if you don't mind, tell him what you do, man.
So I'm a builder. I build commercial and residential homes. I've been doing that for 15 years. I'm licensed in 7 states: DC, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I'm a general contractor in Michigan and Indiana. And so basically it's the trip from my college to my wife's house or my college to my house. The states that I have to go through, I just got licensed in them because I like those states and those areas. So I just decided to get, those areas. But Memphis and West Memphis, which is across the bridge.
Yeah, West Memphis, yeah.
I already got 80 acres that we're looking at there. And then we're looking at a school in Memphis. So we are already on track there already.
Wow. So, Rob, I got to say this, y'all. Don't take this the wrong way, nobody. But when people look down on Clint Speaks, I've asked people to come on, man. And Rob, I promise you, I've had some people to treat me like, man, your audience is not like that. You see what? Listen, I'm gonna tell you what God gave me one night, man. He gave me that, and I said this before. You know the story of Elisha's servant when they were surrounded, and Elisha wasn't worried. He said,
"We good, bro."
Yeah. Open up his eyes, let him see. Just let him see.
Oh, that's a powerful story.
Come on, man.
That's a powerful story.
What has been done? You see 11 people watching on the screen right now. That's not including everybody in the background. So we got a whole army in the background. Y'all just don't know. when I walk around Memphis, man, when I pull up in places, I don't even get called Clint no more. It's Clint Speaks, and I turn around. 3 weeks ago, man, I'm at the barber shop. A guy walked in and said, Clint Speaks. Now, my barber got my chair turned around towards him. I can't see who it was, so he turned me around. I heard the voice, and I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. It's a guy named Gerald Harris. Me and Gerald went to Tresvant together. We graduated together, played ball together. And I haven't seen this dude in 30 years. And the first thing he says to me 30 years later, Clint Speaks. Man, I be watching you, man. My favorite, man, when you and your wife be on that, like Shamika said, man, y'all so transparent. Man, me and my wife, we love it, man. We love, man, people, they tune in, man. Rob, you a blessing, man. I just got to tell you, you a blessing. I'm gonna keep you here, man, by my side. We're gonna be locked arm in arm, man, because it wasn't by, I don't believe in coincidences and luck.
Most definitely, brother.
Come on, man. I don't believe in coincidences and luck, man.
This is the thing. Most of us have the best work ahead of us. And I'm in a position where I've enjoyed what I've done in the past. And I'm talking about I'm a boss in some areas. The other things that I do is naturopathic medicine. I'm a minister, I pastor. Youth ministry is my forte. Like that's really where I'm a beast at. And then the understanding that I've been learning about science and technology, and with that, I've healed people with frequency resonance and understanding the naturopathic healing path. So that's been another. I've helped 203 people heal themselves from everything from sickle cell anemia to Crohn's disease to those. And I can't say cure because cure is a patented word, but I can say I help them heal themselves. And so I've taught them the primary things that they need to do in order to become whole again. And, getting mucus out of their life per se. And so that piece has been a good thing for me. And then the next thing is just being an entrepreneur and not being afraid to step in other areas.
Come on, man.
Because I've perfected understanding the process of restaurants and having the team around me who can build them. Now restaurant owners are asking me to partner with them opposed to just be a builder.
Wow.
And one of the things that I'm seeing that the underwriting is looking for, are you just a builder or are you the owner? And so I'm like, I'm the builder. I'm like, oh, sorry, we can't help you. I say, so I'm the person that built it. And I'm asking you for the money to build it. And they say, well, we know that you can build a building, but we don't know if you can run the restaurant. I said, okay. So now there's another hurdle. And so, what I just said, the disadvantage is your advantage. Your problem is your solution. And so the only thing that I have to have is Young Vellies aboard, and it's a done deal.
Wow. So listen, Rob, I haven't too much heard from the other gentlemen, but I still want to do that what we talked about. And but one thing at a time.
Yes, sir. All of that. Listen, once you put something out in the ether, man, it's going to manifest itself. And what's going to be so great about it is we think that it's going to come in all of this chronological order. It's going to drop in your bucket. You're not going to be able to carry the bucket. It's going to come to you. It's just all you got to do is just name it. And that's that's what God, and that's what I wanted to start with actually when I saw the no arm and no legs. He said, I was talking to a colleague and he said, Rob, how do you view the glass? Do you view it half empty or half full? And I said, it's full at all times. He said, what?
Talk to us, man. Talk to us.
And so he said, Rob, it's half full of water. Is it half empty? Is it half full? I said, I no longer take people's scripted definitions of how I define something. And so you've got to learn how to define your experience and how it's relative to you, not how it's relative and how other people define it. So what do I mean that it's always full? Well, it's full halfway with water and it's full the other half with air.
Wow. Never looked at it that way, man. Wow.
Now we gotta say, What do you want your glass to be full with?
Mm.
You've got to say that.
You got
And
to.
then
Man.
I watched a guy put ping pongs in there into a jar. Then I watched him put smaller rocks. And the kids were like, it was the ping pong's full it up. You can't get anything. And then he put smaller rocks and the smaller rocks went in. He's like, the kids like, it's full. You can't put anything else. Then he put sand in there and it's still filled up. And they're like, you can't get anything else in there. Then he put water in there and then it's still filled up.
Wow.
And he said nothing else. Then he put oil in there and then it separated itself. And he said, you guys were saying that this was full from your perception of what you were looking at. And sometimes there are things working behind the scenes.
Come on, man.
That has nothing to do with what you see, hear, or taste. There are things working behind the scenes that God can say, let me just change the chemical compound of this thing and we can fill it up with something.
Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob.
And so those individuals who are out there who need to be motivated to move on getting something new, you got to change the compound of what you got to change from ping pongs. Yeah, they fill the jar up quickly. But you got to change to a bigger rock. Then you got to change the sand. Then you got to change the water. Then you got to shake it up some.
Come on, man.
And then here's the thing. When he shook it up, he's like, some people only saw you as a ping pong person.
Come on, Rob. I'm trying to be quiet.
But when you put the rocks in and you shake it up, nobody can see the ping pongs anymore. And this is how God can change you just like that. And then he says, some people only knew you as a rock person. And when you put the sand in there and when you shook it up, you can only see sand.
Come on, man.
And I'm telling us today that God has a design for each and every one of us. And Jeremiah 5:6, he says, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. What? Every time I talk about it, it excites me because it's
I'm telling you.
It's like, okay, bro, I wasn't born before God. I wasn't born before I was in my mother's womb, bro. How did you know me? And it's what I said about my grandmother's cake. She took out the sugar and the flour and the fine sugar and the whatever pecans and the chocolate that goes in that cake, right? If it's German chocolate and coconuts. And she expected a German chocolate cake because she created the German chocolate cake. And this is the same scenario with you. God is saying that he knows who you are before you were born because he took out the recipe that was just for you, that designed you in your DNA.
Wow.
And the only thing you have to do is walk in that making of what he created you for. And I said it earlier, I go to him daily. To see what it is that of that German chocolate cake he wants me to be and how tasty I'm going to be to other people.
Wow.
And I used to be like, God, you know, the people who I'm with is like, they like German chocolate. They like pineapple upside down. They like who Clint is and not who I am. And you know what God said?
What?
You need to go where people like German chocolate cake.
Wow.
And it's like I was listening to this guy. He said, okay, if you buy water from a kid on the street who's selling for their basketball team, that's $1 or $2, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the grocery store, the same water, the same bottle is $1.99, $2.99, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a fine dining restaurant, that bottle turns into $7.99. If you go to on the plane, it turns to $10.99, right? If you go to a racetrack in Indianapolis, where there's 50,000 people at one given time, based on the amount of water there, you can buy a bottle of water for $20.
Goodness.
And so the question is, and it's the same thing that happens with a thing of iron, a block of iron, a Boolean of iron. A Boolean of iron makes a $40 horseshoe, right? Mm-hmm. That same Boolean of iron makes a $200 worth of needles, right?
Mm-hmm.
That same Boolean of iron could go into a tech project and it can be worth $2.5 million.
Man.
Same Boolean.
Same thing.
And so my question to us is, what are you using the iron and the water that God gave you in your life?
Mm.
How are you allocating it? And how are you designing who you are with him so that you can collaborate with him so that he can give you the highest value off of why he created you? You've
Come
got to
on.
do it.
Come on, man. Rob, me and you talk ball, man. We talk basketball, and
Yes, sir.
I remember one time. It only took one time. If any of my children looking, they go remember me saying this. I don't know what I did or didn't do on the court. He called me to the sideline, and he said, "Clint, why didn't you do thus and thus?" Because he said, "No excuse." Put my head down, and yes, sir. My children, when they were coming up, Rob, and they're all grown now except for Prince. Why did y'all do? Well, that no excuse. There's no excuse. Yes, sir. Man, I carried that with me for life, man. So let me do this one more time, Rob, because man, you hit us with some, man. Let me do this one more time, Rob, before we go any further. You weren't on here. You've seen this most likely, but I got to do this one more time for the people that were not on here.
It's a powerful piece.
This dude, and this is just a short, this dude has no arms and no legs, and he's a motivational speaker. He's in my field. Look at this, y'all.
There's no arms, no legs. It's not. The fact is, I'm only going to die. I'm only going to live for 90 years. That's my problem. Isn't that your problem? And I don't know where I'm going after I'm not here. Isn't that a big problem? What's the point of having arms and legs when you don't know what to do with them? What's the point of having arms and legs and having all the money when you can't take it with you and you don't know where your soul is?
Let's go again.
You think my problem is no arms, no legs. It's not. The fact is, I'm only going to die. I'm only going to live for 90 years. That's my problem. Isn't that your problem? And I don't know where I'm going after I'm not here. Isn't that a big problem? What's the point of having arms and legs when you don't know what to do with them? What's the point of having arms and legs and having all the money when you can't take it with you and you don't know where your soul is?
I'm saying no arms, no legs, and yet one of the most sought after motivational speakers to date right now. I have no excuse, Rob. I have no excuse. I have zero excuse. Gotcha. So, y'all, that's what I meant. And I didn't think about it until Rob was speaking, right after he got finished speaking just then. Man, I remember this saying, no excuse. And it came from my coach in high school. No excuse. So when I'm, like you said, sitting on the couch, and I could be researching, what do I need to do to build my audience? What do I need to do to get more speaking engagements? What do I need? If I don't have them, it's no excuse, man. This dude has no arms, no legs. So some of y'all may be saying, but you talking about motivational speaking. No, I'm not. I'm talking about passion. Whatever it is
That part.
that you want to do, that you were born to do. Rob said, this is what Rob was saying that is written in the Bible. This is God talking. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee and I ordained thee. You were already ordained. He already knew you. It's no excuse. We just got to carry it out, man. So some people will hear you say, well, Clint or Robert, y'all said that death and life is in the power of the tongue. I can just speak. You cannot just speak it. That's true that death and life is in the power of the tongue. But let me give you a quick example before I get back to Rob. If you're speaking like I am right now, man, I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I keep telling myself I work out, and I love to work out 4 or 5 days a week. But if I don't get up and work out, but I'm speaking it, that's faith without works. That's dead.
That part.
Rob, I'm going to give it to you, man.
So I'm going to go on record and say nobody's handicapped.
Let's go.
Because I know this thing is like we all have some uphill battles that we need to fight. And the question is, if it takes you longer to learn something, So it takes you longer to get up the hill, but you can get up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I was just one of the neuroscientists that I grew up with. His name was Ben Carson, and he was one of my mentors. And he was saying that you don't taste with your tongue, you don't hear with your ears, you don't smell with your nose, you don't see with your eyes. I said, what? He said, you're not doing any of those things. He said, those are the receptors to your brain. Your brain are deciphering those things. And so I'm like, okay, so when I taste it here, it sends a signal and a frequency here to say, oh, that's macaroni and cheese, or hey, that's beef ribs, or hey, that's Young Valley's wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thought is, okay, so what I'm seeing is an illusion, he said. And when I talk, it's my mind thinking about what I want to think about. Before I speak it, I spoke it, and then I'm actually saying it out my mouth. So, this is a neurosurgeon who is a neuroscientist. So I just started thinking his realm. So I said, so are you saying that Stevie Wonder can still see? He said he probably can see the note by hearing it.
Wow.
Or he can taste what it tastes like when because he ate his favorite meal while he was listening to this song and they're paired. And I was like, wow. And so then it because at that particular time I worked at Maryland School for the Blind, and I was doing sign language with the deafblind clients. And there was a young boy there who, in my opinion, he was better than Ray Charles ever would be. And so we would just kind of scatter to his area when we saw him around the piano, because once he got on that thing, it was a full course concert. And so I'm saying to myself, what mental block do you need to take out of your head? That same mental block that the guy uses who don't have any legs or any arms, the same guy who's paraplegic and Stan Hawkins. What block do you need to take out of your head to say, I'm the best German chocolate cake, or I'm the best pineapple upside down cake, or I'm the best real velvet cake? And when I say cake, if you're just joining this, I'm saying the thing that God designed me, or the person that God designed me to be. Why am I not that person?
Come on, man.
I want to ask you some serious questions. Do you have people around you who are challenging you? Do you have people around you who are not letting you be mediocre? Do you have people around you who make sure that you said you was going to get up at 6 o'clock, Rob, and go work out?
Come on, man.
Clint, I don't see you here, bro. Make sure, one of the things in the social science school, they said there is a spokes in your wheel, right? You know how the spokes kind of go to the, and they said that you can tell a person by the people who he hang around.
Say that again, Rob.
You can tell a person by the people that he hangs around.
Okay. Yep, that's true.
And so one of the things that I stopped doing was I hang around people that I help a third, that are like me a third, and that can mentor me a third. And so the reason that I do that is because I'm always trying to improve myself with my mentors. When I'm hanging with people, they're at my level, like Clint, you're at my level. So we real rub shoulders and elbows to kind of make each other stay chiseled. And then there are people that I help, and those people are the people that I mentor for whatever reason. And I'm saying to you guys that you've got to have that level of 1/3ness in your life in order to stay sharp. And so that's kind of what I want to give to us tonight, because it's important for us to be centered on movement. And here's the thing. I was talking to a guy today, and he said, hey, Rob, don't call men simps. I was like, what? What the guy said, it was a simp to me. He said, we shouldn't call a man simp because the essence of how we love people is not to victimize them in our name calling. And I was like, man, he's right. And I had to confer to what he said, because I had called people a simp if they thought this was the situation, and I really felt that was the case. And so I said, you know what? you know what? I'm going to reverse the statement that I said. I want to make sure that you know that I recant that statement, and I stand corrected.
Mhm.
And it's one of the things that the last thing I want to talk about before I head out, Clint, is this: if you don't know how to self-evaluate, you're not going to go far.
Come on,
And so
man.
you got to understand what the self-evaluation tools are. I create my own. And some people say, well, how do you feel like you're the best? I say, because the tools that I create to evaluate myself, I'm at a B this year. I'm at a B plus next year. It's my hope that I'll be at A minus next year, the year after that. And so I create those evaluations to see if I'm in the movement that where I want to be. And here's the thing: I've gotten to an A plus and realized when I got to the next level, that level, the A plus at the lower level was an F at the next level.
Wow.
And so you've got to be realistic with where you are in trying to get to your level, because everybody out here trying to be a millionaire. And I'm saying I'm making 380 to 450,000 a year, and it's hard to stay there. It's hard to maintain. And maximizing to get the tools, going from having the tools that I need to jumping up to the next level is a whole nother set of tools. And after I evaluated the people who I'm looking at, oh, they're up here, they're making 2.5 million a year, they're making 4.5. These are the tools I need. I can't even afford the tools that I need to get to the next level to be successful
Wow.
at the point where I am. So either I've got to do some things to catapult myself, and that's why I'm like, I'm ready. I'm just ready to build that 60 unit. And it's sometimes you cannot prepare yourself sometimes to go to the next level. You just have to know the tools that you need once you get there. And so God has already prepared a place for me. He already prepared a place for me, and I'm claiming that place.
Yeah.
And he already told me that I'm going to be at that level. And so now it's just I'm moving in that expectation. And here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to leave off. Listen, a lot of people will tell you to do strategic planning. I agree. Tell you to evaluate, to create the goals for that evaluation, to go through the process of checking off how you met those goals, and then after that evaluation is done, put it in the next cycle of who you are. All of that. But here's the truth thing. God can catapult you through so many levels just by depending on him, just by having a close walk with him. What do I mean by that? Rob can only build 3 to 7 story units. But if God wants me to build 20, he can download that into my head, what I need. He can make me walk into a Home Depot the 5th time over, being angry, and the person says, I like who you are. Can you do this? And it just takes that.
Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
saying, at some point, we got to get off the couch. And here's the thing. And this is how we know it's God and not us. Because my skills are here. And God says, I'm going to take you here. But you got to know that it is because of me. And I'm saying, thank you, God, because, and why do I fear God? I fear God because I'm like, bro, you're not about to leave me right now, because I'm certainly depending on you, bro. And I'm glad to depend on him. And this is where I want us to know that although the playing field is not level, although we do have some disadvantages, just know that God has he's already leveled the playing field.
Come on, man.
He's already made the disadvantage that you thought was a disadvantage an advantage. So that's where I want to leave us off today, man.
And you know what? On that note, I'm not coming behind that. We're going to leave it there. Thank you, Rob, for coming on, man, being a blessing to us. Y'all, get the Young Valley's wings. Y'all got the number there, 901-235-5161. On that note, thank you all for coming out tonight and playing a part in this. That's success to me. So, love you, man. You and your family, man. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Everybody, same thing. Y'all be blessed and be safe out there.